watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, as always, the truth always comes out eventually, right? And we've been getting a lot of truth lately, all the way from Freddie Roach, Alex Ariza, and now even Bob Arum is telling a little bit of the truth. Now, for those of you guys who watch my videos, you already know that this news comes as no surprise to me. I've been telling you guys about the Mikey Garcia versus Gamboa negotiations or fake negotiations since day one. You see, Team Garcia, they never had any intentions of making a Gamboa fight. And Bob Arum, he just solidified that with a recent interview that he just did the other day. Now, before I tell you exactly what he said, and I'll most likely add the link into the description box later on, but before I quote Bob Arum, I just had to tell you guys what this interview made me think about when I first heard the news. You see, about 2 weeks ago, I was at the Javier Fortuna fight in the press row, and I was sitting next to one of the main writers of BoxingScene.com. We pretty much talked boxing the entire night, and I also had one of my friends, local friends, who works for Top Rank. He has a son that boxes, and his son spars with my son on occasions. But anyway, long story short on that, we strike up a Mikey Garcia versus Gamboa conversation. And right away, my Top Rank friend and the boxing scene guy, they immediately start to defend Mikey Garcia and saying that, oh yeah, Gamboa, he tried to outbid himself. You know, he asked for too much money, and that's the only reason the fight didn't happen. Gamboa, you know, Mikey Garcia really wanted the fight. It was Gamboa. Gamboa, you know, didn't deserve this money and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was breaking it down to them pretty much, explaining to them why that sounds completely illogical. But they were so emotionally attached to Mikey Garcia that they would hear none of it. Which brings us to what Bob Arum just said the other day in a recent interview. Bob Arum said that anyone claiming that Gamboa was asking for too much money is a liar. That is completely false. Gamboa never outbidded himself. He was more than willing to take the fight, and it was basically Mikey Garcia that didn't take the fight. This is an admission that Bob Arum made, okay? Now, what was funny about this interview that Bob Arum did is Bob, he would say in this interview, yeah, it was a complete lie that Gamboa, he wanted more money, and then he tries to kind of save face for Mikey Garcia by basically saying, well, you know, Mikey Garcia, he was just listening to some liars, you know, whoever told him that was a lie. So the insinuation is basically Mikey Garcia, he was misled into believing that Gamboa wanted more money than what he was worth. Now, I could attack this ridiculous insinuation from so many different angles. For one, when Gamboa got in the ring and approached Mikey Garcia after his last fight, it was Team Garcia that started yelling out, this fight is going to be on our terms. So they were already trying to find ways to get out of this fight. And not only that, but I noticed, like I told you guys before, when Gamboa was sitting there in the ring talking to, you know, to the reporter, trying to make the fight, you could just look at the face expressions on Team Garcia, on Mikey, on Robert Garcia, even the father, the grandfather, whatever. You just look at all of their face expressions and they all have this uncomfortable look. They just wanted this Gamboa situation to go away. That's the way I read it. Another thing that doesn't make sense, if someone was lying to Mikey Garcia, wouldn't Mikey Garcia consult his own boxing promoter, the guy who's actually promoting the fight, to see exactly what he's going to get paid? Do you truly expect anyone to believe that Mikey Garcia never called up Bob Arum and said, how is this split going to look, Bob? Come on, man. So all of a sudden, he was just listening to some nobody on the street that said that, oh yeah, you know Gamboa wants all the money. You know Gamboa wants this and he wants that. And of course, we're supposed to believe that Mikey Garcia just listened to this nobody took his word and said, oh, I guess that means we can't fight Gamboa. Let's go ahead and fight some no-name and try to, present that guy to HBO. You must be a damn fool if you think you're going to get somebody to believe that bullshit. I mean, so if this is the case, how come Bob Arum didn't contact Mikey Garcia and tell Mikey Garcia this while they were still negotiating? How come Bob didn't say, oh, no, that's not the way it is, Mikey. Gamboa's not asking for this and he's not asking for that. He's actually being fair at the negotiation table. Let's go ahead and continue to negotiate and make this fight. You know why that didn't happen, guys? Because Mikey Garcia never wanted this fight. And Bob Arum, he knows this, but he just doesn't want to completely expose Mikey Garcia for the ducker that he is. But nevertheless, Bob Arum, he still tells the truth, or told the truth in this situation. The main thing you guys need to know is it was a lie that Gamboa was asking for too much money. And Mikey Garcia is the real reason why this fight never took place. I'm on to the next one.